All right. So I got a couple more topics for you. I wanted to ask you about, in your opinion, you've heard many stories here about Bigfoot. Do you think Bigfoot is aggressive? Does it eat meat? What are your thoughts on that?
I think, I think they are aggressive. I wouldn't. I always say I treat them like a bear,
Yeah.
and if I ever saw one, I hope I get to see one.
Hmm.
But I do believe that they are capable of, yes, putting the hammer down on things. I would imagine that they're probably not too choosy when it comes to food. Especially if it's not in season, let's just say
Right.
the berries aren't out. Maybe it's fall. Maybe they're getting hungry,
Hmm.
and then some guy fumbles into their territory. I don't. I could see them looking at us as food source,
Hmm.
especially if they get as big as they say they do.
Right.
I don't know why they wouldn't.
Have you heard of them? Because I've heard of them eating deer. Have you heard of them eating fish or animals?
Oh yeah, over the years I've read quite a few stories of them eating fish, kelp too,
Oh, wow.
clams.
Hmm.
All kinds of, pretty much everything that any other wild animal would kind of predator of that. Bears, they're kind of similar to bears, I guess, what they eat. Also
Hmm.
berries too.
Okay.
They seem to eat everything.
Right.
But then we've heard stories that they get into garbage cans too.
Hmm.
And I don't know if those are some that just they're younger or they're more brazen,
Right.
or if they're hungry and they're starving,
Hmm.
and that's just an easy, quick, meal.
Yeah.
I tend to think that they probably would, consume a person.
Hmm.
Maybe not in the all situations, but in the right situation, I wouldn't put it past them.
Yeah.
I would definitely. I mean, I want to see one, but sometimes I know I don't want to see one because I've talked to every eyewitness I've talked to who had personally seen one. It's not a pleasant experience,
Right.
and I'm aware of that. And if I saw one, hopefully it's at a comfortable distance, not a close encounter where I feel like I am food.
Right.
I would say approach with caution
Yeah.
or watch from a distance. But we've all heard some of the podcast stories of people getting murdered,
Right.
bent backwards and stuffed into stumps and stuffed under dashboard trucks, and
Yeah.
I've heard some crazy stories. So with that in mind,
Hmm.
boy, I would be cautious.
I'm going to try to get my buddy Patrick to come in here because he's from the Bethel area and he's got all these Western Alaska wild man stories.
Oh,
One of the
ooh,
stories he told me was that a hairy man there ripped a dog in half.
ooh.
So I was thinking, that's not very
Oh,
nice. That's not a,
no, that's not nice at all.
that's not a,
Banjo,
yeah,
close your ears, buddy.
right there.
Oh my
Yeah, it's
gosh. So
awful.
I have heard dogs being killed.
Okay.
There's the famous Sasquatch Chronicles opening.
Hmm.
There's that famous 9/11 audio. I believe that gentleman's dog was thrown over the fence.
Oh boy.
It was a German Shepherd, I think.
Hmm.
But something had tossed his dog back over the fence. I believe. I don't know. Don't misquote me.
Right.
But it's an interesting audio. But I've heard other stories similar to that.
Yeah.
I've even heard horses too,
Oh wow.
in some cases. But I think that's pretty rare.
Yeah.
But if that's the case, maybe once they get to be 9, 10 feet tall or something, let's just say,
Hmm.
maybe that opens the path for more things to eat.
Yeah. Keep your distance for sure.
I would definitely keep my distance.
This is an interesting subject. A lot of people, especially in California and Washington State, think that Bigfoot's a benign creature, needs to be left alone. It doesn't hurt people. Once in a while, it gets mad and throws a rock or something. I tend to think, especially up here, that it's dangerous. It's killed people, and you need to be very careful. What do you think about it? Do you think it's just a kind creature that wants to grow vegetables with us, or does it want to gnaw on our bones? Or is it in between?
I think it's just like any other animal in the woods. I think it
Yeah.
kind of depends on the circumstances in the day.
Hmm.
I've lived in Alaska a long time, as you have too.
Yeah.
I've had dozens of encounters with moose and bear that went one way or the other. You know, I've had them run from me at the first hint that they see me, and I've had them bluff charge me and
Yeah.
be angry with me. You know, maybe there was a young one around, and the moose didn't want, the mother moose was mad at me and kind of chased me around a little bit. You know, and I think Bigfoot is probably the same way. It just kind of depends on the circumstances and the day and the condition of the Bigfoot as to how the encounter is going to go. A lot of times the Bigfoot's just going to turn around and go the other direction.
Yeah.
But if there's something like young or resources on the line, it could go a different way.
Meat eating. Do you think it eats meat?
I think it eats whatever it can. I think it's
Omnivore.
yeah, omnivore, opportunity,
Yeah.
maybe even a what's the word for it? An intimidation predator.
Yeah.
Where an animal like a wolf or a bear will have a kill. The Bigfoot comes in. It's bigger. It scares the predator away and consumes the rest of the kill.
Yeah, I mean, there's been stories of Bigfoot hauling off deer, and eating animals. Even up here, the Western Alaska hairy man. I just struck gold with this guy at my work, and he was from Bethel. He lived there 20 or 30 years, and all those reports I started looking into, they're saying that they hunt animals. But if you look at like a silverback gorilla, they mainly eat vegetables and, you know, roots and stuff, but if they get the opportunity, they will eat some meat too. And then chimpanzees go to war and cannibalize each other, so I believe it's a meat eater too, so you have to be careful.
Yeah, I think it eats whatever's available and convenient.
Yeah.